Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good morning, my students in class 4A and B. Today is 24th of March on Tuesday. We will finish, inshallah, the last topic in the first lesson in Unit 1. What is electricity? Our objective for this period is to describe what is electric current. At first, in the previous lesson, we were talking about the electrostatic discharge, and all of us now know that the electrostatic discharge happens when electrons jump from an object with a negative charge to the object with a positive charge. And it's so exciting to watch this electrostatic discharging. Why? Because it looks like a lightning, or we can feel it as a shock. But can you see this video, please? So it's so exciting to see the electrostatic discharge. But how flowing charges are more useful to us? How can we make benefits from electrostatic discharge? This period we will talk about how can we make this discharging of the charges are more useful. When the electric charges have a path to follow, they move in a steady flow called an electric current. So as you can see, or as they do in the wires. In the wires, the electric charges flow in these wires, so they have a path to follow, so they can move in a steady flow. This moving in a steady flow, it's called electric current, so as they do in the wires. Look at this picture here. In the wires here, all of us know that the wires made up from copper, and they are covered with an insulator from plastic, for example. So inside these copper wires, the electrons flow from the negative end to the positive end. So what causes electrons to flow from one end of a wire to another end? The cause is the attraction. Look at this picture here again. The electrons, because there is attraction, the electrons flow from the negatively charged end to the positively charged end, like this picture. So this is the direct current here. It's called electric current. But look now closely to the wires again. We have here a wire. What's the purpose? So what's the purpose of the insulator on the wire shown below? Look at this wire here. This wire, it's made up from copper wire, and it's covered with an insulator. Why do we need this insulator? As we said before in the previous unit, we said that we need this insulator because the insulator, all the insulators are materials that resist the flow of electrons. In the previous unit, we said that the insulator prevent or resist the flow of heat, and most of the insulators act as insulator of the electricity. So the insulator here resists the flow of the electrons to our body. That's why in the wires we need the insulator. And then inside this copper wire, the electrons, as this picture shows here, the electrons move from the end negatively charged to the positively end charged here in the wire. So open page 490. Here we have a picture and we have a question. What do the blue dots here on this wire represent, and what is the flow of these blue dots called? The blue dots, they act here in this picture as the electrons. So the blue dots represent electrons, and when the electrons flow from the negatively charged end to the positively charged end, it's called electric current. So what are the sources in our country or in the world of the electric current? The first one is the chemical reaction in batteries can provide a flow of electrons. And the second source is an electricity generating station is another source of electric current. Here the batteries, the chemical reactions in the batteries give us the source of the electric current. And here we have, this is in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. This is the electricity generating station in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh. But how we can use it? The batteries, we can use it in the flashlight, cell phone, MP3 player, and etc. What about energy station? We can use the electric current from energy station to turn on TV, refrigerators, the lights in our homes, etc. So the moving of electric charges are more useful than the static electricity. We said the static electricity, it's the buildup of the electric charge in an object. It's still in the object, but when it's moving in way, it's more useful for us. And these electrons can be made to move through a wire. This is the example of the electric current, and they make up an electric current. So you can use the electric current to do many kinds of work, and all of the electric currents for homes, schools, and businesses come from energy stations in our country. So I have here a question. It's a challenge for you. So how are static electricity, electrostatic discharge, and electric current different? Here we have the three definitions: static electricity, electrostatic discharge, and electric current. They are the main points in this lesson. At first, the static electricity, we said that the static electricity is a buildup of charges in an object. Just build up of charges. But the electrostatic discharge and electric current, they are both involve the movement of charges, the movement of electric charges. But the difference between electrostatic discharge and electric current, that the electric current, the movement of charges are continuous and controlled with a wire. Again, there is a difference between static electricity, electrostatic discharge, and electric current. The static electricity is a buildup only of charges in an object. Electrostatic discharge and electric current, they are both involve the movement of charges, of electric charges, but the difference between electric current and electrostatic discharge, that the electric current, the movement of charges in the electric current are continuous and controlled with a wire. So to sum up our lesson, when the electric charges have a path to follow, they move in a steady flow called an electric current, as they do in the wires. Like this picture, this is the wire, and the wire, it's made up from copper wire. Inside this copper, the electrons move from the negative charged end to the positively charged end, and this wire is covered with an insulator. Why do we need the insulator? To resist the flow of electrons from the wire to our body, so we can keep ourselves safe. And the source of electric current is number one, chemical reactions in the batteries, and we can use the batteries for many things like flashlights, cell phone, MP3 players, etc. But the second source is the electricity generating station, and we can use this energy station to turn on TV, refrigerator, light our homes, schools, etc. And we can use the electric current to do many kinds of work, and all the electric currents for homes, schools, businesses come from energy stations. Good luck.